Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is stage 19 of the 25 Vuelta a España. If you guys went to bed last night, you saw a magnificent individual time trial that was really short, more like a prologue. But what was magnificent about it was Filippo Ganna's 60 kilometers an hour for 4 kilometers. The last 4 kilometers of a 12-kilometer TT. He averaged 60 kilometers an hour. And over the whole course of the 12.2 kilometers, he was 56.2 kilometers. So that was a magnificent speed and a third victory for Team Ineos. Filippo Ganna said in his interview that they're going to keep it going. So let's see what happens on today's stage. I'll show you the profile at just about 160 kilometers, called 100 miles in length. It looks like it's one for the sprinters. But if we look at the finish line before the racing started proper, we see it's a little bit of a drag up to the finish. I'll call it about 3.2 kilometers, stair-stepping up to the finish at about 3, maybe sometimes hitting some 4% sections, but stair-stepping a hair on its way up. So it's an interesting finish. Could be one for fantastic for Mads Pedersen. Could be another good one for Orlua Solar from Movistar. We've seen him go on some of the climbs. And Jasper Philipsen, I think this is in his wheelhouse, because remember, Jasper Philipsen did win Milan-San Remo last year, so we know for sure he can climb if he's got some form, and we've seen Jasper Philipsen win 2 stages already. So, been quiet through the mountain stages, but let's see how he goes here on today's sprinter stage. Cameras come on. We got Ortruba up the road. We got 120 kilometers to go. He's holding about 3.5, 4-minute gap. It's not going to matter much because when we go back and look at the peloton, Lotto Destiny's right in the front. They got Viviani, their sprinter, the Italian sprinter, and then Alpecin de Koenig's right in the front, of course, for Jasper Philipsen. Now, nothing's going to happen. This is going to be a sleeper stage. We're going to see some horses running next to Ortruba right there, and nothing's going on until we get into about 85 kilometers to go. The peloton now starts going curb to curb, but not stressed out. And you can tell they're not too stressed because the time gap up to Ortruba started extending back out over 2 minutes. So he gained about 20, 30 seconds when it's going curb to curb right here. So we know what's happening if you're sitting on the Chesterfield is the director sportifs are telling all the teams that there could be some wind coming up. Now, there is no wind right now. I can show you different flags and such, and it's just not windy. But when you look at the parkour, it's completely flat. So the organizers really are setting up these kind of stages. When I see comments where like, oh, this is a boring stage. I don't know why they set this up. These boring stages have to exist because sometimes they are the most magnificent stages because when the wind starts blowing, there is nothing more fun to watch than crosswinds. And I could tell you, and I'm a GC rider, so I'm a climber, there's nothing more exciting than racing in the crosswinds. I love it. It fires me up. So you got to put up with some flat or bad, boring stages. And right now, if you slept through the first half, that was a fantastic plan. But you got to start waking up here on today's stage 19 because it's going to get more exciting and it's going to happen pretty soon. So we're coming into the next town. And as we come into this big town, Salamanca, right here, we see that at the back of the peloton is Ayuso at the back. Now, if I back the film up, UAE team members have been at the front with Visma bike, but as we're coming in to this big populated town with huge crowds, and Ortruba's still up there going solo for Caja Royale, we go back and look at the peloton, it's Visma bike at the front. Now, Q36.5, Bora Hansgrohe, those guys are sitting 3rd and 4th on the general classification, but UAE team members, when we look at this overhead picture, they're really back in about the 5th row of the peloton, and as I told you, Ayuso's at the back of the peloton right now. So we come up front and we see Ortruba grab maximum points up here for the intermediate sprint competition, right? Okay, he doesn't need points. Was there like some change and some extra time bonuses? Doesn't care about the time bonus, but like some extra change. So he makes some money. We go back and look at the peloton. They're coming out of this next bend after the roundabout. Once they come out of this bike is on the left side and they throw down because Jonas is sitting 3rd. He's coming up the left side. Mads Pedersen's all the way on the right. Mads Pedersen already has the points competition basically wrapped up as long as he just gets some half-decent stage placings throughout the next 3 stages here. So he doesn't have to worry about it. So UAE team members got caught napping. Now you look at him on the left side trying to get up there to the Visma bike train, but Jonas has already started his sprint. He looks back over his shoulder, rolls across the line, 4 seconds in the bank. He just went from 40-second lead on Almeida to a 44-second lead. That's a 10% gain, guys. That's a magical gift right there that UAE team members knuckleheads messed up. Now remember, they got 8 riders on the team of UAE Team Emirates. You only need 2 or at least 1 to get in front of Jonas Vingegaard. You want it to be Almeida for sure, but if any team member could get it second and third on this points competition here, besides Jonas Vingegaard getting second, they know those time bonuses, and Almeida doesn't have to worry about anything back there. But instead, the director sportifs must have been napping. The 8 riders from UAE Team Emirates were napping. Ayuso sitting at the back of the peloton. He didn't bother getting on his radio telling anyone that, hey, pay attention, there's time bonuses coming up. So 10% gain in time is what Jonas has right now over Almeida. This was a knucklehead move. We come out of this town, starts getting interesting. Now we start getting a little bit of crosswind, so you got to wake up for the last 50 kilometers. There's no doubt about that. Call it 58, because that's where the intermediate sprint competition was. But now as they're exiting the town, we see Domen Novak having some problems at the back. Now, if I back the film up to around 60K to go, Domen Novak, Mikkel Bjork's been on the front of this peloton before it got crazy nervous, but still curb to curb. They've been on the front for 25K, if not 30, 40K at this moment, because they've been getting bottles before that too, before the cameras are coming on. So now you see Domen Novak having a little bit of suffering at the back. Then we go up to the front of the peloton. It's Mads Pedersen. Mads Pedersen and Brandon Riviera there from Team Ineos, they kind of collide. Mads Pedersen was moving a little bit to the right. Brandon was moving a little bit to the left. Luckily for the race leader's red jersey, Jonas Vingegaard right behind these two as they're bumping. Mads Pedersen caught it out of his peripheral vision there just on the right side. He moved at the last minute a bit to the left, and same thing happened for Brandon, but they bumped hard. Red jersey stays up, nobody goes down. This was a close one right here. Remember, if you're sitting second on the general classification like Almeida and your teammates haven't been racing for you throughout the first 2.5 weeks here at the Vuelta a España, yes, I know some teammates have, certainly Gros Schartner, Ivo Oliveira, Bjork's been fantastic, Domen Novak, same thing. But Jay Vine going up the road, Soler going up the road, and Ayuso sitting at the back, they haven't been helping him out much in this 3 weeks. If I take you back into 2018 Vuelta a España, I can show you 2 twin brothers, Simon Yates and his brother Adam Yates, racing for Mitchelton Scott. Simon Yates was on fantastic form, riding and blowing stuff up in the mountains in the early first week. Did Adam Yates try to go for stage wins? No, he sat back. He waited for his legs to come good. And then when you go all the way into the mountain stages, especially around stage 17, Adam Yates was a crucial member there for his twin brother, Simon, and controlling all the brakes so Simon Yates could wrap up the 2018 Vuelta a España. But instead here, UAE team members, they won 7 stage victories, and Ayuso swinging at the back, giving up time bonuses along with all his other teammates caught sleeping. We go up just a little bit further. We see Ayuso on the back of the peloton again. And remember, they already caught Ortruba back there with just before and just after Mads Pedersen was bumping with Brandon Riviera. So now everything's back together. We go up a little bit further from the back there of Ayuso, and we see that UAE team members get everyone together at the front of the peloton. They got all 8 guys, including Ayuso. They're at the front. It's getting nervous. It's full gas right now. The average speeds were super slow at the beginning of today's race, but now they're certainly starting to pick up quite a bit more. UAE team members are finally getting switched on as a team. They're riding 8 guys. Vismalisa bikes up there. It's curb to curb. It's nervous all over. Going to 30 kilometers ago, we see Lidl Treks. This is Giacone. Giacone's moving over to the right side of the road. He's got a mechanical there. He's got to get a flat tire change. Then he gets back on the bike and he's chasing through the cars. But this is a big problem right now because Mads Pedersen is a classic type sprinter. Giacone's good on explosive uphill finishes. And I already told you guys 3.2 kilometers at the last right turn is all the way stair-stepping up to the finish of today's stage. So when you see Giacone having a mechanical right here, this is a big problem. When I back the film up for you and you see that it was Jay Vine, Domen Novak having problems back there, especially Domen Novak because Jay Vine closed up earlier. Domen Novak's back there. I'm wondering right now, where are the cars? Have they barraged the cars for some of the riders that have gotten dropped? If so, Giacone's in big time troubles. We see Giacone is in the back of the cars, but while he's back there 25 kilometers ago, there's a crash up in the front of the peloton, kind of midway through the peloton, as there were some cones on the center and the left side, and Louis Menkes there from Intermarché, he crashed. We didn't get to see exactly, but it looks like he caught one of the cones there, went over it, and somehow Louis Menkes is coming up from this crash. When we see him standing there, I don't see any blood. His jersey's not ripped up or certainly not visibly really torn up. So he got lucky right here. He's going to get bike chains, get back into the race, but it's going to take him a little while too. Now, Cicconi's still back there fighting to get his way back up to the front of the group, and eventually we're going to see him get on with Domen Novak. Now, when Domen Novak gets on, but next thing you know, we're going to see Domen Novak at the front of the peloton again, still throwing down. This is a teammate throwing in more than 5 minutes of effort right here for UAE team members. Domen Novak, tip of the hat. You're going big deep here on stage 19. We come into 17 kilometers to go. Things are getting interesting right now. This is all curb to curb up front with the GC teams and Lidl Treks up and around the picture. Premier Tech's up there. They have Ethan Vernon as their sprinter, plus they're running GC with the American Riccatello, who had a fantastic individual time trial yesterday. So those guys are up there. Alpecin de Koenig got 6 guys back there. That is their whole team. They only have 6 guys here. 2 have already dropped out. So all 6 are at the back. Jasper Philipsen, the 5-star favorite to win today's stage, along with Mads Pedersen. So they're hanging out the back the whole time. We go into 15 kilometers to go, and the average speed's at about 48.5 kilometers an hour for the last 30 minutes. So it's been blazing difficult right now, especially when you start throwing in the crosswinds and shuts that the riders are dealing with. We go into 12 kilometers to go. Team Ineos are trying to take over the front. Now, Ineos are taking over the front. Visma Lease might come back and try to take it over again, but Ineos take it back. We come in through the next town with about 7 kilometers to go. Ineos still want control of the peloton. This is just a bit too early to be doing it with the numbers they have when they exit this town, because it's Victor Langolotti up there. Then we look at Egan Bernal, then Ben Turner. Now, Ben Turner won a sprint stage, but he had just a little bit of tactical help because Edward Planker didn't move right when they let Jasper Philipsen through. Ben Turner won that stage, but right now, Ben Turner's in a bit of a predicament right now because you don't want to be at the front with 2 guys in front of you with Victor and Egan Bernal driving it, and you're sitting 3rd. This is a bit too far out. You want teammates late into the stage, not at 12 and into 7. To keep near you around 7 is fantastic, but you don't need him driving. Instead, Victor's throwing everything into it till he finally blows. Now we're coming into about 5.1 kilometer to go thereabouts. We'll call it 5. Once they fly through this with the Ineos riders at the front, we come out and we look at it's Movistar on the front. We look at the back of the peloton. You can tell it's smoking fast back there, and they got these rollers where the peloton's completely strung out up there. Now we go up front with the Movistar riders, and we see Jonas Vingegaard in the race leader's red jersey. We're just coming under 5 kilometers to go, so Jonas is sprinting big time right now because I'm sure he wants to make sure that he gets under the banner so that he's safe of 5 kilometers. I told you it's 4.7, but I don't know exactly if the 4.7 is the real 5 kilometer mark. So Jonas is up there fighting for position, but eventually he'll know he's far enough in and safe for any time splits or any accidents. Excuse me, not time splits. So he's up there. He's going to drop out, and then Egan Bernal takes over the front. Egan Bernal is on the right side of the road, and he's got Ben Turner on his wheel. He goes over to the left side of the wheel, pushes everyone over to the left. Then he goes back over to the right side of the road. Now, while that was happening, if I back it up, Alpecin de Koenig, that were last at the back of the peloton, started moving up on the right side of the peloton during all the little chicane action there that Egan Bernal was just magically putting in. This is a ridiculous knucklehead move right now from the Colombian that won a stage here at the Vuelta a España. There's no reason to be weaving the peloton all over the course at this moment when you only got Ben Turner on your wheel. And if I back you up a little bit, when Alpecin were moving up the right side, so was Kwiatkowski there and Filippo Ganna. So is your teammate Egan Bernal switching and swaying all over the place. That's going to push everyone and cause chaos on the peloton. You don't want that. Egan Bernal finally does his last big sprint. He blows up. Movistar take over the front, but they got just about 3 riders, maybe 4 up here. Ben Turner still at the front position. We come into 3.2 kilometers to go. This is a crucial right turn. You need to be near the front, but you don't have to be at the front. Now, if this was a Tour de France quality field at 3.2, you better be at the front. But here at the Vuelta, just like the Giro d'Italia, it's not their 100% A team of 8 riders. So when we see Movistar at the front and they're down to 3 riders, Michael Hessman's on the front, you know at this moment Movistar cannot do 3 kilometers all the way up a stair step and climb to the finish of today's stage 19. So if you're a little bit further back and you're getting a better draft, that's a pretty good MO at this moment. Now, Hessman's going to blow, and as Hessman starts to blow, Michael Kwiatkowski takes over at 2.1 kilometer. He's on the left side. He's got Filippo Ganna. Now, Michael Kwiatkowski goes from the left side. He starts going immediately over to the right. He checked to see if it's clear. I assume he's got the space to do it. So he's moving over to the right, and then he's leaving Filippo Ganna in the wind there, dragging some more air on him, which is going to cause what? It's going to cause some more wattage on the pedals, and that's going to start to slow down Filippo Ganna. But remember, he did 60 kilometers an hour yesterday, so he's got some good legs. So we see Filippo Ganna accelerate, go over to the right with Kwiatkowski, and it's Kwiatkowski first, Ganna second, Ben Turner third. We start looking behind them. We got the Movistar rider of Olar there, and we got Lidl Trek there that have Dan Uhl, Søren Kragh Andersen, and Mads Pedersen a little bit further back. Now, we look over to the left side. Albacin de Koenig have started to do some accelerations. Once up front, Kwiatkowski blows. He did about 300 meters up there. It was not enough up there because Filippo Ganna has to take over at 1.9. So Kwiatkowski 2.1 to 1.9. That's just not enough for Filippo Ganna to be throwing everything into it. Keep in mind, when you look at Filippo Ganna, you look at the front of the peloton, it's singled out for Ben Turner behind one rider. Everyone else back there where it's going a little bit more curb to curb, certainly taking up about 50% of the road. You got to understand that they're going to get a bit of a better draft up there. And when the accelerations every time from Kwiatkowski and the hit out from Filippo Ganna is going to put some hurt into the legs of Ben Turner up there. So as they were up there controlling, as Dan Uhl was looking after Søren Kragh Andersen and sprinter Mads Pedersen and bringing them up closer, on the left side at 1.7, if I back it up just a hair, we see that the first Albacin de Koenig rider was starting to blow. They had 5 to begin with. The next one's taken over. He's going to bring them up a little bit further. And then we're left with 3 Albacin de Koenig riders after 2 blew up. But these 3 are ace riders. We're talking about Jonas Rickert, Edward Plankert, and Jasper Philipsen up there. That's a 2-time stage winner already. So they're coming up the left side. We're coming in about 1.1 kilometer to go, and they've moved up dramatically. As we come up to 1 kilometer to go, Filippo Ganna still throwing everything into it. Ben Turner still there. We get an overhead shot. We see Mads Pedersen now is leaving Søren Kragh Andersen and passing on the left side so he can squeeze up and just get in and around Ben Turner's wheel where Luis Olar is there for Movistar. Now, while that was happening, though, Jonas Rickert was doing some magic. He got 2 teammates to take him close to the front. Now Jonas Rickert's up there, and he's about side by side with Filippo Ganna. That means Ben Turner has to switch wheels. Ben Turner will slot and try to get right behind Jasper Philipsen along with Mads Pedersen and Luis Olar. Now Jonas Rickert's hitting out at 700 meters, and we have seen this game before. 3-man train here from Albacin de Koenig coming in late to the game. Ineos went way too early at 12 kilometers to go, and Filippo Ganna's been on the front from 1.9, so that's why we saw him blowing. But Ben Turner, as we come through this bend at about 500 meters to go, just exiting it, Ben Turner, you see his cheeks go. That means he's hurt. He's trying to get the last grasp of air in right now because we're coming into 500 meters to go, and he's been unhurting with big, strong lead outs in front of him and single file instead of being in the back of the peloton, getting that magical draft that Albacin de Koenig was delivering. Now, remember, if you're at the back of the peloton with 17, 15, 10 kilometers to go and such, if there's an accident, you lose a chance on today's stage, but you got magical draft back there. Now we're seeing that magical draft come into play because nothing crucial happened during any crashes or accidents. So with Jonas Rickert hitting out hard, he's going to go all the way into 400 meters to go. Now it's time for Ed Plankert. Ed Plankert hits out hard. Jasper Philipsen's on his wheel. At 250 meters to go, Mads Pedersen sitting 5th here on the train. He's got to hit out. So he hits out hard to the left. Olar goes with him. Jasper Philipsen stays calm as a bomb, rides it out for another 100 meters into 150 meters to go because this is an uphill sprint, guys, so you got to time it late. Jasper Philipsen's not timing it late. He's timing it perfectly. He comes off to the right, leaves his teammate Edward Plankert as Mads Pedersen has to come the long way around Edward Plankert there. Jasper Philipsen's going up the inside of the fence. He cuts it tight to the fence there for a second, but he's sprinting fast. He looks left over his shoulder one more time, throws the bike at the line, and comes across the line celebrating. Back to film up just a hair. We see Mads Pedersen got 2nd. Luis Olar got 3rd on today's stage to wrap out the podium here on stage 19. It was a sleeper through the beginning, but trust me, guys, the last 60 kilometers was absolutely well worth it. So the organizers did a fantastic job of setting up today's stage 19. And for Jonas Vingegaard, he gained back 10% of his time. He lost 10 seconds yesterday, gained back 10% of his time, got another 4 seconds because UAE team members were knuckleheads on today's stage. Team Ineos, I'm going to call you guys knuckleheads on today's stage too. You just did too much. You need to come a little bit later, especially get Ganna into that 1 kilometer, if not 800 meters to go with Michael Kwiatkowski and then Ben Turner on your wheel. Filippo Ganna could have did something special, but you can't put Filippo Ganna on the front from 1.9 all the way well into about 800 meters to go on today's stage and expect them to have anything left to overcome the power of three Alpecin de Koenig riders, well-trained Alpecin de Koenig riders coming around at 700 meters to go. It's game over. Jasper Philipsen, congratulations on the trifecta of 3 victories here at the Vuelta a España. You still got another stage left on stage 21. There's no doubt about it. Good luck there. Jonas Vingegaard, great job grabbing 4 seconds back on UAE Team Emirates. Like and subscribe, guys. I'll see you for the last and final mountain stage of the 25 Vuelta a España. Like and subscribe. Anything can happen. See you real soon.